That just got to catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you hear us okay, Mac?
All right, well, cool. As long as
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, and that's the most important thing. I know the
should
video.
Eventually load up.
It will.
Yeah.
No, it definitely will at some point, but I don't know.
Oh,
It just said Mak7teen is unable to join. Hold on. Let's try this one more time. Okay, says he joined. All right, I see it. Mak7teen, can you hear us, bro?
I don't know why they don't like me.
it don't, does it?
We can hear you though. We can hear you. Oh, there you go. We got video
Turn that
too.
motherfucker around.
We got video too. Look at that.
Yeah, when you say that, Mak7teen,
Here
like, I can't argue with that. It doesn't seem to like you. What's up, bro?
Bro, they don't get by me. The internet don't want me to, bro.
They are, man. It don't, does it?
Bro.
This is not fair, man.
But that's all right. We can hear you. We can see you.
Yeah, man.
I don't want to go that way. Which way I want to go? I just want to make sure that
That's all that matters.
All right, cool.
That's the little tap.
It's a lot better than yesterday, though. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, we're getting further than yesterday.
A lot further than
Yes,
yesterday.
sir. That's good.
All right, cool. Well, let's get in what we can get in. All right.
Yeah.
Before the world starts hating on, because people be hating, the world be hating, social media be hating.
It's going off in California at the moment, isn't it?
Yo.
I mean, I don't know what you guys know. I'm in England, so I'm far away from it, but I feel for you guys though. Anyone close to it, anyone involved in it, and my heart goes out to you.
Yeah. I need to go out.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. But we're gonna have a conversation today. Discreet. One thing that we'll do after we talk, we'll give it a couple seconds in case there's a little bit of a lag, just to be on the safe side. But Mak7teen, I appreciate you powering through this with us, bro, and popping back out live with us today, man. How you feeling this morning?
Yeah, man, I'm good to play, man. Graduating tomorrow. My last of the Mohicans is graduating tomorrow, man. Okay, man. Music good. My friends is doing good. My family doing good.
All good.
That's all we could ask for. We could ask for. Congratulations to your last one. That's going through the graduation process right there. I'm sure you're very excited about that as a parent. You obviously mentioned some new music. And you know what, man? We're going to get right into it, bro. The Remedy. Part 3 in the trilogy. What's your general thoughts about this? I've given you mine. I'm going to share them here again today. But before I give my thoughts, to everybody outside with us today, what are your thoughts on the project, Mak7teen? Part 3 of the trilogy. What are your thoughts on the Remedy, bro, when it's all said and done? And I ask that specifically as an artist because I know some of us maybe reflect a little bit more than others, but I know we all reflect as artists. So now that's been out, kind of just what's your reflection, with it being a couple weeks so far?
Man, I'm glad that I did it at the time I did it, the whole plan was to drop that like one after the other, from my time is now to Elevation to the Remedy. But I'm glad I did it in May and didn't wait until the summer, because it's like we really need it. We really need it from the streets to our hearts, to our minds. We need a remedy, man. There's too many problems out here. There's too many problems and not enough solutions. So I felt like just providing a remedy would be proper. It's not garbage, So I really don't get down like that. I don't think that my listeners want to hear me dumb it down to the stop, drop, and rock, type stuff. They want me to continue pushing information into their minds. Like a brother called me yesterday, was like real ecstatic about the album. He was like, bro, man, you took my mind to a place no other rapper has took my mind to. You know, and that right there is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do something different. You know, when you got a million artists out there doing the same thing, you know, that one artist that does something different is gonna look weird, but as long as he's strong and confident in what he's doing and what he's talking about, it doesn't matter what they think. The message is stronger than, you know what I mean, messenger. So I just leave it like that, you know, and I make sure, like from start to finish, I'm making sure that the people can play this all the way through, and then if they want to go back, they could play it backwards too.
No.
From start.
I like that. I like that. And I told Discreet when I first, you know, a couple of weeks back, you'll remember you'll remember this, Mac, because you had sent me a message on it. But after I mowed my lawn a couple of weeks back, I went, because that's when I listened to the project from start to finish of yours, The Remedy specifically. And I did, man. I went out there, and I'm gonna say it again, like from start to finish, bro. It was a beautifully put together project from start to finish, and everything that you just said, it really hit that much more, right? Because it was funny when we were talking to Big Alex on Saturday, Discreet.
Yeah,
we talked about you know, people coming out here and not sounding like other people, right? And Mak7teen, from literally audio, vocal wise, doesn't sound like anybody else. But what I also appreciate, Mac, is that your music is different in the messaging, right? And I think that's another way that people don't necessarily view that you can sound different than other people, because, you know, we talk about it all the time, Discreet. Like, you know, we as artists, we as rappers, we as whatever type of creative that an individual is, there's influences that we get from people, right?
Bro,
and
I
sometimes
just the other day come across Jason Martin. I'd never heard of him before, and I thought he was white. I'm surprised.
I think that's the dope thing about artistry, because even if you sound like somebody else, or somebody perceives you to sound like somebody else, well, what's the next differentiation between sounding like somebody else and being that exact somebody else, or trying to exactly be them? And it's what Mak7teen said. It's the message. It's the message. So it's not only the message, but I think the beauty for that comes from me, that Mak7teen listens to his fans, to the people that are listening to him, his message, and his music, and he hears them, and it sounds like that's exactly what you gave to the people on this project, Mac. Is that fair to say? That's exactly the direction that you took, not only with the trilogy and finishing that off, but giving the fans what they wanted to hear, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, you know, with me being a Gemini, my birthday next Sunday, Father's Day and shit. Me being a Gemini, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the Geminis out there. You know, they hate us, but we love us. And that's all that matters. But
I tell you what,
being a Gemini, man, I got
female Geminis, and they're wild. They're wild. Yeah.
Being a Gemini, though, I gotta feed sides. I gotta feed both. You know what I'm saying? I gotta feed left and right. So the projects that I put out, like Your Worst Nightmare project, family, you know, I want to be able to show both sides of myself, not just one side. So Your Worst Nightmare is my way of letting out aggression in the angry streets, and you might be born for this, being used to side, the inside, not ignorant side. We all have both. You know, we could be ignorant or we could be intelligent. It's art. So I'm just doing that in real time.
Well, and I think that's dope with what you're saying there, because, you know, as artists as well, we always look to evolve, right?
Yes.
And I think one of the only ways that you can do that, yes, it's yourself, but again, Discreet, one thing that we talk about a lot is sustainability as an artist, right? And, you know, Mak7teen, I'm sure you can appreciate it. Like, bro, like, as long as you have enough fans, right? Obviously, it depends what your intent is, right, behind the music. Like for me, I want sustainability in my music, meaning literally at the end of the day in my life, I want to take care of my family. I want to be an asset to people, and I want to make music. That's all. Like, if I blow, like, it's not my intention to blow up and become like you know, a Jay-Z or this mainstream type of artist in any way, shape, or form. For me, it's like you, it's about the message, right? And if I can have a sustainable career and just in getting the message out, the message of power to people, similar in nature, you know, to yours, that's all I want. And if something happens because of that, hey, cool, I ain't gonna be mad at it, but that's not what the intent is, right? And I think when you have that intent, I think that's the strongest and purest form of artistry that one can really give to somebody, right? And I know we talked about it a little bit, you know, like 6-7 months back when we had you on the first time, Mak7teen. But talk to me about the importance and of connection to you with your fans and what that means to you.
So like, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't doing music for the film, music for myself, to my story out. And from that's how I got to where I'm at. It was like, I need to tell this story, you know. It's so true, real, you know, interesting story. It's real life. And can't too many people who know me be like, nah, he lying. No, he really out there doing that crazy stuff and acting like this, but that's not who he is anymore. You know what I mean? So I remember you when you used to do this. So I have that. Then I have you know, for the people. That's an album for who remembered me. Then I did an album for the people who grew up with me. And then I did an album for the people who know me now. And then an album to show that my intelligence is greater than my ignorance.
It's growing.
You know what I mean? And then the remedy is my fans, the people who really like my music, is like, bro, this is medicine to me. You know what I mean? Like I really have helped people think. That's something that a lot of music doesn't do. Music doesn't make you think it. You know what I mean? It just make you shake your ass, dance around in the circle, and keep you distracted from problems. But you know, we don't want problems, but we don't want to sit there run from them neither. So we need to address them. The only way to get through the problem is to solutions. So you know, solution-based music is something that they don't have. It's all problem-based music. You know, it's all about, you know, trying to brag and trying to, you know, be superficial. Who can be the most superficial?
It's a trouble with youngsters. But you got to think, when we were young, we were the same. With you're so ignorant and just so. It's almost like it's just natural and meant to be, but it's hard when we grow older and you see the younger generation just being idiots, and it hurts us. But I think that's always going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it does. That's you know, we start at the bottom, but then we grow as we grow, just like flowers, just like plants, you know. So that's how I take it. G's Up is about. We growing from the ground up, and we stretching our arms up into the sky. You know what I mean? Raising up all the way high. G's up all the way. So that's what that's about. You know, God is universal power, protection. You know what I mean? And peace. So if you can put all that into your chest and put all that into the ground and put all that into your craft, you can grow in this business, in this world. It's really not even about the business. It's about the people and making sure that they know that they can always depend on you when they need when they need that little push, and they need to help them understand, like, life is heavy, it is hectic, but you're gonna make it through this. You know what I'm saying? I put my life on it. You know what I mean? Swear to God, you'll make it through. And even if you don't, you're still gonna be in the hands of God. You know, that's where I do songs like that, like Guru. You know what I mean? Like on Elevation, Guru, and have to deal with allowing the people to know that I'm no longer that guy. I've changed myself into something better, and I suggest you guys do the same thing. You know what I mean? Because I was the worst of the worst, and if the worst of the worst can do it, then you can do it too. And that's how I, you know, push everything. You know what I'm saying? From the mindset of I've changed, you can change too. I didn't want to change, I had to change. You don't want to change, you have to change. You know, elevation is a must.
So true.
You know what I mean? And there's no better time than now. You see what I'm saying? And yes, that is the remedy to getting through your problems. That's why it's the trilogy of music and knowledge. That's why it is what it is, because
that's beautiful.
It helps. It really does. You know, you can be down and depressed about something and put on one of my songs and it will uplift you. You know what I mean? And that's what I want. I don't want to keep on, you know, degrading and making things down. I want to lift everything up. And it doesn't have to be on some, you know, happen. It does have to happen.
Exactly. I tell you what, your album, right? It's one of them. If you want to be in a good mood or feel good about yourself, you put your shit on. Because I feel that way about Redman's latest album as well. If ever I'm feeling really down lately, a go-to for me is Redman's new album, Muddy Waters 2. Oh, it's just brilliant. It just picks you up and it's just, yeah. But yeah, them albums are just, well, to me, they're gold. You know what I mean?
That's what I want. That's all I want. That's all I want. I want the ears of the people to hear it and be like, wow, that was refreshing.
Yes, and you know what? Speaking of refreshing, one song specifically on the Remedy that I want to bring up is Hell Nah.
Yeah.
Because listen. Like, what I really appreciated about you and Little Six saying everything that you guys said on that track, you guys spoke on some real shit. Real life shit that's going on today. Shit that, like, elders are putting into the minds of young people, especially at ages that we probably shouldn't be putting some of the stuff into people's minds. I don't care what the age, but especially when you're putting in the youngins' age. And you guys did not hold back on what the message was and the intent of what that song was. So my question to you specifically is, I kind of have a feeling of where it came from, but what was the moment for you? I want to ask it this way. What was the moment for you where you were like, yo, fuck it, I'm doing this fucking song and I don't care what anybody thinks about it? Because there's some real messages that need to be heard in the track Hell No, because there's some fucked up shit going on in this world, and you guys really brought it to light in a way that I don't think I've heard from other people speaking on it in an educated and well-informed manner as well. So that's my question specific to you about Hell No, Mak7teen. At what point were you like, fuck it, I'm doing this track and it's going on the Remedy because it needs to? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, shout out to Chocolate Tie. He the one who I should say got that started, because Chocolate Tie Beats gave me some beats and was like, man, I want to do some projects. And I was like, cool. And I heard the beat and was like, whoa, buddy, you done messed up now. Because it just sounded like, the beat sounded like this is the one to attack the bullshit. And I'm like, what bullshit? You know? And I'm like, oh, all the bullshit.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, I've spoke on guns. I've spoke on, you know what I'm saying, lost mindsets of men and women. I spoke on, you know what I'm saying, all type of things, but I've never touched that one. I've never touched the industry and how it's really transformed our minds from one, you know, saying stage into another, and from that stage into and it's seeming to be a repetitive thing. So it's like, hell no, we got kids. You know what I mean? So I'm like, no, that's not good. You know what I mean? I got kids and grandkids, so that's 2 generations that I don't want to, you know, go left when they should be going right, or to go right when they should be going left. And it's not like I'm trying to force them to do that. I'm saying reproduction is a natural process in this entire world. Not just with humans, but with plants. You see the pollen going. You see the pollen going around, right? But there won't be any trees if there isn't any female trees to accept the pollen, right?
Correct.
So that type of thought mentality, that, you know, it's like we're breaking away from nature in order to be a part of society, and society don't care about nature. As you can see, they'll tear down the whole forest in order to build a concrete village.
We'd be dead without nature.
So without reproduction, we'll be dead. It's not about, you know, sexual preferences when it comes to life. 100 men and 100 women on an island, you know what I mean? and the men go this way, the men and women go that way, the island will be dead in 10 years, 100 years, right? 100 years, the island won't have nobody. But if they come together and they make way with each other, fornicate, then they'll have 200 more people.
Yeah.
But if they don't, they all choose to say do that, then their life is ended. And I'm just saying, I'm not knocking you. You can do what you want. You can choose to be where you want and how you want and who you want. But that's not cool to be teaching to.
Yeah.
Adults can do what they want to, but try to convince a child that they have their own minds, but they can't stay up on and watch cartoons when they want to. They can't the house and land on their head want to. So it's not really the proper thing to try to teach a child. You can let an adult do what they want to. But the children, no. I got children. And being a grandfather, if I don't become a grandfather, then I didn't graduate into fatherhood. I'm just a father. You see what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be a grandfather and a grandfather and a that's supposed to happen. If I have a child and my child chooses not to have children, that's cool. If my child chooses to mess with the same sex, that's cool too. You know what I mean? I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying our job as humans has always been to reproduce. And it doesn't have to be, what's one thing that I've learned is you don't have to penetrate in order to make children. You know what I mean? So you understand that. It's like, bro, don't try to teach the children they only have, they can be anything they want to be. Don't teach them that because it's not true.
Yeah.
That can't be anything. They can't be a robber. They can't be a criminal. They can't be, addicts. They can't be anything. But, I get the point and I understand it. But you need to tell them that they can be a certain thing. That's why I was just like, man, I need to get somebody here that can really spit some crazy stuff. And I was like, you know what? Lil 6 is the perfect candidate because he has a understanding that would bring it out of that would bring it out on this track, and he would be able. I got a lot of people I can choose, but it's not about whose voice and sound would mesh properly with that. It was sick. I was like, I told Emo, I was like, bro, I think we need 6 on this, bro, and he was like, hell yeah.
Sometimes
the only time
you listen to something and you can hear somebody else on it, can't you? You get that feeling. It's like, I know who needs to be on this track. You just sense it. You just sense it.
Yes, and you know what? To be honest, I kept hearing his accents from his his ad libs. You know how Lil 6 does his ad libs.
Yep.
So I kept hearing that. And I was like, ooh, I gotta make this happen. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, most definitely. Shout out to Lil 6. That's my brother in music and life. That's super solid. I just don't understand solidness and authenticness and I mean authenticity and that stuff matters, man. And it's not people who have it in this industry. Those that have it are going to go farther than those who are just say in it for the likes, in it for bragging rights and stuff like that. Like nah. If you know the history of Lil 6, he was born into it.
Yep.
I've heard him say that before.
He had no choice. I mean, and I'm not saying it like that, but I'm saying
I've heard him say them words. I was born.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like it was. So that was.
I'm just about making out what Mac's talking about, but it's getting a little bit worse, isn't it?
No. So what we have to do discreet while he's coming back, while he's talking, we just have to be quiet so we're not jumping over him because it's different audio than when we're on the restream as well. But he's looping back in. I know he's connected. And if we lose him, I know he'll come right back. But one thing while we're waiting for him to come back, and if he can hear us, and I'll ask it again. I'll ask it again if I need to. We lost him. We'll get him right back. one thing I definitely want to ask him, discreet, when he pops back on here, and again, I don't know if you can hear me right now, is or you know, one thing, because we started talking about Sacramento rap in general yesterday, right? While we were working through the live yesterday, one thing that I really appreciate about Sacramento and always have is, you know, as Mak7teen was talking about the authenticity of Lil 6. We had already mentioned on this show that Mak7teen has an authenticity all, you know, to himself as well.
Definitely. Yeah.
Right? But I think that's how it is. That's how it is, I think, with everybody in Sacramento. Honestly, like, there's the Sacramento sound, but then
I'm thinking
everybody
of
has the...
dudes I know, and yeah, I would say so. Everyone I'm thinking of in my head from Sacramento, there's only about 3 or 4, to be fair, that I know personally. They're all different from each other, but it's definitely a unique place for music.
No, it is. I mean,
it's different from everywhere else. The sound and the type of artist you get is different. Do you know what I mean?
Is. No, very much so. But the authenticity within each individual is very much present. It's very much present. And then, you know, what up, Matt? Can you hear us okay? We got him back. Let's see if he can hear us okay, because he's loading back up.
I'll shut up. Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. Matt, can you hear us okay?
Good.
Bet. All right. We got him back. You can hear us all right?
You can hear,
can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you. Perfect. No, perfect timing. Perfect timing. What we were talking about was, because you had obviously mentioned the authenticity of Lil 6, and you specifically heard him on the Hell Nah track, right? And so that led, while you were getting linked back in, that led to me and Discreet to start having the conversation about, you know, how Sacramento, of course, has its own sound, right? I think we can all agree that, but I took it one step further in the fact that each Sacramento hip-hop artist and rap artist still has their own authenticity, whether it be you, Lil 6, you look at somebody like a T Nutty, you look at an X-Rated, you look at a Brother Lynch Hung, you look at a Looney Coleon, you look at anybody. I just got put onto this dude, Critical 1T, or T1 maybe the other day, by this dude that I connected with as well. But everybody has their own sound within Sacramento, having their own sound. And so when you talk about authenticity, man, you know, I put it out there on a reel for We Outside last week. Like, we got to give Sacramento their motherfucking flowers as a whole. And each person coming out of Sacramento, whether you're mainstream, you're underground, you're just starting out, it don't matter. No. Because Sacramento and the Sacramento hip-hop scene has its own personality. And each of those members, and there's, you know, you even look at somebody, like a Marvelous, you look at somebody from back in the day, like a Sugar Free. Man, the authenticity that comes. Am I on point with making that statement? I mean, you're closer to the Sacramento scene than I am, and Discreet is, you know, Mak7teen being literally in it. But what's your thoughts there on the Sacramento scene as a whole, with every, you know, Sacramento having its own sound, but then each individual artist that we know of today, or is making some kind of noise out there, has their own personality and their own sound in and of themselves. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, we the shit. And then I'm not saying that to be conceited. I'm just saying, like, we have so many different we have so many different elements, and none of us want to sound like any of the other ones. We're trying to, you know, push our own narratives, you know, and that's what I love about Sacramento music. Like, every neighborhood has a real dope artist in it, and sometimes 2. Maybe 3, if you pay attention, to the way the Garden Blocks is, the way the Old Parks is, the way these are neighborhoods, and the Heights and Meadowviews. They all have one artist that's doing good, but at that same time, they got hella artists out there that's dope. You feel me? Like, we have a Mozzie out here. You know, Mozzie. Everybody know Mozzie. You know what I mean? But my nigga FON Check. You know, family or nothing. Excuse me. And Check FON, that's my guy, and he's been pushing his narrative and his own lingo and his own sound way before everybody else, and he still does it, and I love it. That's another guy you need to check out too, FON Check. He's on my Planet of the Lost album. Planet of the Lost song. But we in Sacramento do not like sounding like everyone else. No. Now the young guys might try to, you know, sound like whoever's hot, but we don't do that. The people that's 30 and up, we don't do that. We trying to make our sound, and we really are like, fuck everybody else. You know what I mean? Because we think we're the shit. We all think this. This is what's in our water. We don't have no care about what you're doing because we're the shit. And that's and that's our poison. I promise you. You know, when you talk to Sacramento artists, some of us are humble, some of us are modest, and then a lot of us are, you know, on some bullshit. Like,
the best.
We don't give a fuck. But we do. Yeah. No, that's how we are. We like, no, I don't give a fuck about them. Man, fuck them, man. We okay, you know, and that's how we act.
Yeah.
We just love ourselves. We love ourselves more than, you know, saying we love all the other people. But we fuck with the Bay, we fuck with LA, we fuck with Stockton, we fuck with, you know what I'm saying, all the places around us. But we just feel the way we feel because nobody gave us love when they was doing their thing. We had to fight to get ours. And now that we done fought to get ours, we like, nah, fuck everybody else. And that's just how we feel. But we fuck with them. But it's just like, no, fuck that. Sacramento's up.
Yeah.
And that's what we're displaying. That's why we coming to where we coming in Sacramento. Like we've been slept on long enough, even though we have SIBOs and we have, you know what I'm saying, Brother Lynch's and X-Rateds, but that's them. They're our OGs. So, you know what I mean? And y'all ain't never looked at young G's, but you got Mozzie, you know what I'm saying? There's still people between that's dope as hell that y'all done looked over. You know, we got Phil Harmonic out here, man. Come on. You know what I mean? We got a lot of talented people out here in this city. And the industry, you know, only picks up who they feel is work withable, and that's cool. But we don't give a damn about that. We still believe that even though you picked that person up, we still doper than them. You just didn't get a chance to know about us, and that's just how we feel.
Exactly. That is it. That is it. I mean, there's artists out there, right? There are artists out there that are unknown that could mix it with the best of them that are in the industry. Do you know what I mean? There's rappers out there that can go bar for bar with Redman, that could go bar to bar with fucking Exhibit. They're two of my favourites, but yeah, nobody knows them, but they're out there.
No. Yes. Yes. There's a lot. There's a lot of artists out here. You know, somebody said. I heard somebody say like, what's in Sacramento? 100,000 rappers? I said, yeah, just about 100. Just about. And it made me say that, like, Sacramento got 100,000 rappers and 50,000 producers, but, you know, only 5 dope engineers, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, but, I mean, we got more dope engineers than 5, y'all. Don't let me say that. I don't want no smoke, y'all. I don't want no smoke. But it's not. It's more rappers and more singers than it is engineers. And, you know, and now we're getting like more producers as well. So it's starting to spread out into a beautiful thing. Cause, you know, Sacramento is a rock and roll city. This is a rock and roll town. Like, you know what I mean? But we're trying to bring rap. And the thing is hip hop is, you know, plagued with violence. You know, not all hip hop, but just those that, you know, gravitate towards that. So, you know, we're trying to shed light. Like, no, Sacramento isn't all about gangbang. Yeah, we're from the hood, but we don't all rap about, you know what I'm saying, the gangs. You know, and that's the thing. Like,
I find trouble with this. Grandmaster. When we were young, we loved all that shit, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we're gonna lie and say we didn't. Yeah. Like all the gun violence and music, we loved it. And I just feel it's natural that the youngsters. It's just a cycle. It's a horrible cycle. It's a real horrid cycle, man.
It is. You remember when, I mean, not saying you remember when, but Grandmaster Flash in the Furious 5, right? And that man came out and he was dressed in that leather with the leather hat, you know what I mean? And all the dog chains and all the silver stuff looking like, you know, with the choker on and stuff. And you looking at him like, bro, what is going on? But his message was broken glass everywhere. You know what I mean? And you're like, whoa, he said broken glass everywhere. What's that describing? He's talking about the, you know, the community where he's living. And you like, wow, look how he just described it though. You know, and now that right there stuck with me. Like, how do you start if you don't start your songs out with something that's catchy in the beginning, you're going to lose me.
Yes.
You're going to lose me. I'm going to be like, oh yeah, the beat's cool, but what is he talking about?
Yeah. You've got to grab people.
So that's what I try to make sure.
Yeah.
You got to. You got 4 lines. You got 4 lines, and that's what you got. 4 lines. Your
Yeah.
first. Yes, you have to start out with a question. You got to start out with something that's going to intrigue the person to make them be like, "Well, whoa, let's
What's
see
the
where this
next
goes."
line? Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah,
That.
yeah. That's
Exactly.
Lost in Transition. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Mm.
let me tell you about a girl. Her name was Lost. You know what I mean? And everybody's
Mm.
like, well, shit. Let me
Yeah.
listen to lyrics. Let me see what's going on with Lost. You know
You
what I
know
mean?
it.
So those are
Yeah.
the things you. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
it's
especially today.
to me.
40,
It's
what
like
is it? 40,000
yeah,
songs get uploaded every day. 40,000 songs every day get uploaded.
40,000 every
Wow.
day,
Didn't
every
know that.
day, and,
Crazy.
and they're all sounding the same.
Mm.
Only only a small percentage are sounding different.
Yeah. Mm.
And the industry, what I noticed about the industry is they like to get people who sound like the person who's on now so that they can
Yeah.
get that person that's on now out the way with this new guy, pay him less, and keep the cycle going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
it trips me out because people are really chasing that. They're
Mm.
like, oh, I want to be that. I'm gonna be the next Drake, or I'm gonna
You
be the next
definitely
Kendrick, or I'm gonna be the
you
next.
see
Like,
it with the female
what's wrong with
rappers.
being yourself?
The
Hmm.
female rappers,
Oh
they're like
my
a fucking. That
gosh!
is like a production line. You know, Lil Kim,
Look,
right through. We could name them all.
Yep.
Right through to this sexy
listen.
red.
I'm gonna tell you right now. This is why I work with Illa J, I work with
Mm.
Spittles, and I work with Lady
Yeah.
Red because they are not on that bullshit.
No. I
Hmm.
mean,
No,
like, how the
no,
fuck?
no,
Tell me someone, what the
no.
fuck did a song called WAP get in the charts for little kids to listen to? Little ass pussy.
I don't know,
How?
bro. I
How
don't
the
know,
fuck?
bro.
What the fuck?
Discreet,
That's why. That's why discreet.
discreet. Go get discreet is crazy, but yes,
It
yes,
is fucked up,
money,
isn't it?
money. It is, and you know what? This is why they don't pick artists like me because they know that I'm not going for that shit.
Hmm.
I'm not.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna do that. If Little
Mm.
Kim won't let her kids listen to her music, I mean, if Cardi B won't let her kids listen to her music, why would my kids listen to it?
Hmm.
Why would I want my grandkids running around here? You know what I mean? Talking about they got WAP,
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't it?
Well, think
then
about
tell
this.
them to
Let let
turn around and shake it.
Yo,
Isn't it?
it's crazy.
Crazy.
Well, it's crazy. Well, it's the money, right? It's the money, but also discreet to your point, it's that sex appeal. Let's talk about somebody real quick. I saw something this morning. I had forgotten about this person. Not that I paid any attention to her, other than her being thrown in my face on social media channels. But Ice Spice. All right, let's talk about Ice Spice real
Oh,
quick.
she has gone quiet a little bit, hasn't
Ice
she?
Spice was so hot last year, like to the point,
Mm.
whoever was backing her in the industry was like forcing her to, by way of like Taylor Swift, like to get co-signed by Taylor Swift. Because if you get co-signed by Taylor Swift, I don't care what
Mm.
genre you're in, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna make some money, but maybe not because I haven't heard of Ice Spice here in a hot minute. And where's Ice Spice? Nowhere, bro. It's
I
that
feel
15 minutes of
sorry for her
fame.
because you wonder
It's that
what's happening to her. Is she like gone that far that
I don't know.
she ain't
I don't
feeling it
know.
no more?
But when we talk about the people like that, or the Cardi B's versus the Marvelouses of the world, the Spittles of the world,
Mm.
the Lady Red of the world, that was on Mak7teen's The Remedy. Like again, it's no different, discreet, than we briefly mentioned on Saturday's live cast when we have Big Ounce. Right? There are people that make music, and that's the Cardi B's of the world, that's the Ice Spices of the world, and there are artists.
Yeah.
All right, there's a difference. There's a
Industry.
difference, and
There's a
there's a clear
difference.
difference
Big.
between, the two female rappers and Spittles and Lady Red that are on Mak7teen's project, come out of Sacramento, and the likes of an Ice Spice or a Cardi B. And I'm gonna say this real quick on Cardi B. All right, don't get me wrong, she's made a hell of a lot of money selling her records. Okay,
Mm.
kudos to you if that's what the intent is. I'm pretty sure the intent of the Spittles and the Lady Reds of the world is not to make millions and millions of dollars. If that happens, I'm sure they're not going to be upset with it, right? But it sounds like to me, just hearing and getting introduced to them specifically on your album, Mac, and you know them better than I or Discreet does, right?
Yeah.
So you can speak to it more than I'm about
Hmm.
to make on the statement here. But I'm pretty sure that they give a damn more about their lyrics and the message that they are spitting than at the end of the day, the amount of dollars that are going to be coming their way from what they spent on your two tracks. You know what I mean? Is that true? Because again, That's pure
Yes.
artistry in comparison to somebody who's just making music to make a dollar. Let's be real.
Spittles is one of the most talented female artists that I've had a chance to witness. She's not just a rapper. She sings, she dances, she choreographs, she engineers. The lady is bad. You know what I mean? Lady Red is oh my gosh, she's so phenomenal. Her voice, her poise when she gets to the mic, her delivery. It's so sultry and it's caught me. You know what I mean?
I've heard her once on
Illa J.
the new album, and what you're saying is very true.
Very true. Yeah, no, Illa J from Elevation on the Pain. Like when I came to doing Pain, and I was like, I need, Devious One. Shout out to the producer, Devious One. But I was like, this beat needs somebody that's gonna speak to the people, and she speaks to the people. Illa J knows how to speak to the people and talk to them about pain and the struggle, and that's what I love about her. You know what I mean? And she's real genuine. She's a real genuine individual, a sweet individual. Don't cross her though. You feel me? But she's a sweet individual, and I hope that ain't hurting her, you know what I'm saying, image. But no, she really is real world a great person. You see what I'm saying? But don't mess with her because she will, you know what I'm saying, give you the 1-2 in the booth. You feel me? Like, but that's why I work with her. You know what I'm saying? Speaking on the artistry, like my guy, Old Man Cali. You know what I mean? He's the one who put me in the position to rap with Marvelous on his projects, put me in the position to rap with COS on his projects. You feel me? So it's like he respects the artistry, and he goes out and he looks for, artists that have what he needs in order to bring forth the music that he likes. Like there was a song called Stop Playing the Role, or Stop Playing. And he was like, Mac, I need you on it. And I was like, cool. I got on it. Then I heard all the different people on it. I was like, bro, this is dope. You put COS and me on this mug, and you got Do Damager, and and you got all these Luck Peters, and you got Low New Breed. You got, I mean, it's just like, damn, okay, that's what's up. But that's what we need. We need conductors that are going to sit there and orchestrate the way people should be going and doing. We need artist development out here. We need to get these artists developed so that they can understand, like, hey, we already got that. We need something different. Dig in your bag and do something different, but we don't have that. We need it, but we don't have it. And we're working on it. That's what the music family is about. Like, come on, man, let's get together and, put our brains together, put our crafts together, and let's paint this mural. You know what I'm saying? The hip hop. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's do that. And if we could do that, I guarantee they'll be saying our name in 10 years, 5 years, 4 years next year. They'll be saying our name. And that's because we're working together as a team, together moving forward. You know what I mean? That's what this is about. It's not about, just standing there and saying whatever comes to my mind. That's freestyling. If I put my finger or my two fingers together and I'm doing this, I am now a scribe. And I'm now scribing and writing and putting down words of meaning. That right there is mantra, manifestation. That is the esoteric way of doing things in this world. Why not? We're using the muses. You know what I'm saying? So if we're going to use the music, and that's another thing, like knowledge. That's what this is all about. Like, you got to learn. And you're not going to come to my place, to my face, and not learn something. So you're not going to come to my music and not learn something either. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like, we could sit there and talk and have a deep conversation for hours, me and you know what I'm saying? Sitting on the phone, just talking, shooting the shit. But when it comes to the music, you telling me you can't do that with the music? Nah, you can do that with the music as well. You can put those conversations into lyrics and then impress your people. Like, bro, I was just talking on the phone with this bro about this, and he put this in a song. You know what I mean? Instead of being like, I just got off the phone I had a dope conversation, but now I'm about to write a song about money and bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? That don't make no sense. Take this real life and put that into the music. What do you mean? You don't know how? You telling me that you a real pimp and you really, you know, a real drug dealer, you telling me you're a real killer, and you're describing to me all the things you would do to a person if they mess with you, but you're not describing to us how you think on an intellectual level, because it's not popular, because it's not a fad. That's not what they're doing. Bro, we're talking, this shit isn't, Picasso did not paint pictures of himself. He painted pictures of the things he saw.
Yep. If you've got truth to tell and you want to put it in a song, to me, who gives a fuck if it's going to be popular or not? Like, that's not the point.
Why? Yes. No.
That's not the point.
No, it's not.
I don't want it to be popular.
I was going through something. I was going through something in life, and I wrote about it. How does this make you feel? Man, that shit made me feel. It made me almost cry, because I've been through that too. That's what I want. I don't want you to be like, yeah, man, fuck a bitch. Yeah, man, fuck a bitch. Bitches ain't shit. Excuse me, nigga. I got daughters. I got a mom. I got a girl. I got. You know, no, you can't get that. No, it's no. What are you talking about? My grandma. You said. You trying to tell me my grandma ain't shit? You call my
right?
Who are you telling? Who are you trying to? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm just talking about the ones it apply to. Who? Your sister? Your mother? Your grandmother? You talking to them too? No. Well, then I know you're not talking about mine. I'll fight you over that.
Exactly, because how are you going to go out there and say that about somebody else's mom, grandma, cousin, uncle, sister, daughter, whatever? But then you're going to get pissed off if somebody says that about yours. That, like, come on,
bro.
Where is this? There's no sense in that. There's no sense in that.
Everything.
And
it's cool. It's cool to do it, but you can't keep doing it. It's cool to say it, but you can't keep saying it. Every album, every song.
You go to that
once.
That's
it.
And it's
like, I don't want to hear you, and that's just me personally. I don't want to hear, if I got your album, like I was telling somebody, I love, you know what I'm saying, Sacramento artists. You know what I mean? I love being able to put their music on and be like, oh, this dude is dope. This dude is really dope. I'm going to work with this dude. But I don't want to hear you say the same thing over and over again. I won't work with you because I'm not giving you an opportunity to get on my album and do the same shit you did on those other 5, 10, or 6 albums. No, I'm not doing that. No,
correct.
No.
We're looking for something different.
I need
want
fresh.
Intent. Yep.
Yes. You ain't been through nothing, then you probably not going to be able to rap with me, because you haven't lived life. This is real life rap. This isn't just about, you know, what rhymes. I keep telling people that it's not about what rhymes. Yes, a word that sounds like the other word at the other end of that sentence or paragraph must be there for rhyming purposes. But no, I'm not. No.
It's got to fit the narrative.
It has
of what
to
the
make
message
sense.
is about.
It has to. It has to.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, it's
what are we
crazy.
Doing? The beat.
It's crazy.
From the beat, like my producers, not my producers, but the producers that send me stuff, they'll send me something with a title, like DJ Prime Tracks. He go by DJ Line. That's why I almost did that. But Prime Tracks, you know what I mean? He sent me a beat called Problems. That's what it was called. The beat was called Problems. And I started writing to it. And when it came to the hook, I was like, what are we going to do with the hook? He was like, I don't know. I was like, well, screw it. I mean, because the problem, and nobody really in life wants problems.
Yep.
Even the people who say, I want a problem, when they get their shit touched up, they didn't want the problem. You know what I mean? You know, when they be like, oh, I'm a tough guy, then they get beat up. They be like, man, I shouldn't have did that. They didn't want the problem. You know, even the tough guy, after he broke his hand, beating up somebody, you know, he like, damn, I done messed my hand up. Now I can't work. You didn't want the problem. Yes, you addressed it. Yes, you went to it and you gave it your attention, but you really didn't want that. Now you in jail, got $50,000 bail. House got to go up for rent, or got to go up. You got to put your house up for mortgage and stuff. What? Nah, all because of a problem that you could have used a different type of mindset towards. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I don't want problems. I don't want problems. It don't mean I'm a punk. That don't mean I'm a sucker. It don't make me, you know, scary. I just say I don't want problems, and I still was still on you. I just don't want problems, bro. But if you walk up on me, you're gonna get a problem.
It's a different story. Win
or lose, you're going to get a problem. Win or lose, you're going to get a problem. It's a different story. But the thing is that when you boil it all down to the nitty gritty, you like, I don't want no problems. I just want to live life and be at peace with myself and those around me.
Oh my God!
You saying that, bro? You saying that reminded me of something that that Ice-T, of course, OG, salute to Ice-T,
OG,
said on the Holden Court podcast many years ago, and he said, you know, people
shout out to
here,
home court, shout out to big court,
yo, for real, for real,
He
said, and
ahead,
Ice-T, no, you're good. Ice-T said to court, he was like, yo. He's like, all these motherfuckers out here who have a problem with squaring up. Like, why wouldn't you want to square up at some point in life, right? Just to what you're talking about right there, Mak7teen. Ice-T's definition of squaring up is like, I don't want to have to look over my shoulder. Like, especially me, you know, him, you know, his message was, especially me at a certain point of life when I'm, you know, I'm acting, I'm rapping, I got multi-millions, I got deals going on, I got movie deals, I got yada yada. Yeah, I want to square up because I don't want to, for the rest of my entire life, be looking over my shoulder like, who the fuck is coming after me? Like, come on, like sometimes some things are you know, justification and, you know, ends to the means, or that's the environment that, you know, a certain day that we might be living in. But man, why would you want to continue to live in that day in and day out if there's an opportunity to potentially get out of that, right? Like,
I blame it on people who have, you know, when you ain't never had nothing. You know what I mean? That leads to you becoming nothing damn near. Because guess what? If you had $1 million and you were using it, and you would understand that. If you had respect or morals or a moral compass, yes, you would understand that. But without those, you don't understand that. So basically, what I'm trying to say is we have a big issue with believing that you are less than a real street dude or a real thug or a real gangster because you don't want to be out here doing the stupid shit with us. You want to get out of this and better yourself. And you trying to better yourself makes you look weak, which it doesn't, but that's the mindset. So now, instead of you wanting to rise up, you're going to stay right here with them. No, that's not how it works. That's how the TV. See, a lot of these people on this planet are operating out of a programmed mind. They have been put together. Their mind has been programmed by movies and songs and TV shows for so long that they don't understand that they are only acting out as a character, as a persona that was, you know, paid. A paid individual was, you know, paid to act this role, and now you are taking this, you know, persona and applying it to yourself and trying to act it out for free.
I'll tell you something that really I find bizarre as I've got older is when you hear people out in the street or when you're at work and they're talking about a TV show they watched last night like it really fucking happened. And it's like, that's a TV show. You're so invested in that. Why can't you invest in your own life like you have in that? Do you know what I mean?
Discreet.
It's fucking weird.
I understand discreet. we got this app called Tubi, a TV show program, little app called Tubi.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's in I don't know. I've never in my life felt so drained, so dumb and so stupid while watching a program. But all the programs make me feel like I am just like I said, bro. I asked when I see people watching that, I instantly put my headphones on and hit the noise canceling button and then cut my music on so that I can rehearse and stuff because I don't want to hear that because I try to stay way up here, and when I hear Tubi, and then it drains me. It drains my energy, all my intellect, my knowledge. It just be like,
Yep.
And now I want to know what this stupid shit is about. What's this shit?
Yeah.
What's this? Oh, it's a program where the man is this man. He's a father. Man, This isn't the type of program that I need to be watching. What do you mean this is
No.
a story about a man who kidnapped his daughter and raped all her friends? What are you watching?
What are we watching?
No. Ugh. That's disgusting. Oh no, it really happens. No, the fuck it doesn't. No, I don't want to believe that. What do you mean people really go around raping their children and kidnapping their friends? Like, what the? No, that shouldn't even be put on TV.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And then that stuff is pushed. Where in comparison, I don't know if y'all are familiar. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, Mac. You may be, but individual filmmaker by the name of Terry C. Carney. Just the last month or so, I think May 7th specifically. Yeah, actually about a month ago in a day, came out with a program. It's streaming everywhere right now. It's on Apple, it's on Prime, it's on Netflix. It's pretty much anywhere that you can watch TV. But Terry C. Carney came out with a documentary. Put the guns down. The world epidemic. We spoke about Ice-T a few minutes ago. Ice-T was an executive producer on this. The likes of Cocaine was on it. X-Rated had a voice part on it. A lot of people involved in this project. But those are the things that should be getting pushed on these tubies, man. Like, because it is gun violence is a world epidemic. And
it's a world epidemic. Yes,
man, like it's crazy. And it's nice that you have people that are supporting Terry C. Carney with this movement and get this movie out here. But like, it's crazy because we talked about it earlier. We talked about WAP selling, sex sells, drug sells, violence sells. But when we try to come to a solution like cleaning up as much because we're not going to win every single battle, right? And anything that we ever go up to battle against, and gun violence is no different. But let's control what we can control. Let's make a difference. If we can save 1-2 lives, we're not saving 1-2 lives that we otherwise wouldn't. And the fact that things like that don't necessarily get pushed like the other sad stuff in this world does, is sad. But you're right, Discreet. I mean, millions of people get turned on to stupid shows like Mac was talking about with respect to this dude is raping and killing his daughter's
thinking about
family and friends, and we do. It gets built into our subconscious because it's money. It's a program. We are being programmed like Mak7teen earlier was.
Yes.
And you're gonna have millions of people follow it, but then you're gonna have the select few that will think for themselves and think above a level of consciousness for themselves and for their community. And I want to bring it full circle real quick to Mac, what you were talking about earlier, as far as the message of your music, right? For the youth that don't necessarily have that father figure in their lives, that youth that doesn't have the right direction in their lives. And Discreet, we talked about it with Dooney, our shout out to OG Dooney, who's a family member.
OG Dooney,
right there in Sacramento. Legend. Of course, Dooney doesn't have any kids of his own, but Dooney has more kids than most people have out here because Dooney makes it a part of his life and a part of his calling to go out and reach the youth. In a way that, Mac, you're doing it through your music, and I know you're doing it other ways as well, but Dooney isn't doing it through his music. Dooney's doing it through being an activist and getting into the community with the youth. And there's ways that you could be heard, not just music. And people like you, people like Dooney. We need more people like you in the world because the youth need some kind of direction other than the youth that are being led astray in a blind world. And we need more people like you and Dooney's of the world, man, because we need the voices that aren't willing that are willing to not take the easy way through, right? Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing the same shit and trying to be here for the youth. And
man,
you're taking the more challenging
you're right,
way, and I appreciate
you're right. Well, like that just reminded me of like another reason for hell no, Epstein Island. You see what I'm saying? Another reason is, I'm saying, Epstein Island, like, bro, Diddy cases and shit. You feel me? Like, the youth are being taken advantage of by wolves in sheep clothing.
That's just that's an example of
they dress up real nice.
Too much money, man. That is.
But the saddest part is that the only way that's happening is people are chasing that dream of having too much money, and it's like that's where you ended up where you were because of because like the R. Kelly situation, the parents were paying him. The parents were paying him to take their children.
Yep.
Now,
That's
they weren't
wild.
paying him to do things to the children, but the parents damn that much because they left him in the care and did it more than once, even
Yep.
after the allegations. So it's like, you know, it's not just people are sick and they need healing. You know what I mean? Like I say it all the time, like the black community needs counseling. We need counseling. If you're telling me that whatever transpired in the past is true, counseling, we all need counseling. America needs
As a
counseling.
whole. Yep.
That's why we have nationals and shit like Brown Stomp communities disrupting peace, because we need counseling. That's why we have, you know, saying brothers corners and in the by the multiples in purple yelling at the top of their lungs on a megaphone. Need healing. You know what I mean? We got people being evil all week, only to be good on one day because we counseling. There's no way possible that we don't need counseling. That we as a people to not have been mistreated by the people who come, you know, who have money and in power, and we need counseling. You think you're okay, but you're really not.
You're really not.
Did you go through your counseling session? Did you get counseling for the travesties that's in your blood? No.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's not fair that, you know what I'm saying, we want to blame, you know, each other for our ignorance, but we haven't had counseling. So we're all going through the same shit. Like, yeah, we might be doing better than others at holding ourselves together, but we still need counseling.
Yeah.
That's why our relationships are the way they are and turn up the way they turn up. You know, we believe that, you know, we're okay and we're not. We need counseling. What you talking about? Did you go to school? Did you go to a public school in America? If you went to a public school in America, I'm pretty sure you need counseling because of the things they taught you were lies. They lied to you and then set you out into this world to find the truth.
Yeah.
When they should have gave you the truth at first, and then let you, you know, go out throughout the world building more truth. But that wouldn't have kept America in power. So you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
We could go on for ages. That's what this music and knowledge is all about. Through music and knowledge, we will have so many conversations to talk about and discuss, because guess what?
It's all
we love music and we love to learn.
Yeah. It's all intertwined and it's all connected.
Yes. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the killing thing about it is that, you know, that is the one thing that makes the Matrix move different.
Yeah, it is definitely.
People think, you know, that's what the Neo was about. That's what it was all about. The one thing in the whole Neo is actually one. Neoone. That's the same shit. Neo and one is the same. So Neo was the one. Don't tell nobody I told you this. Okay.
That's crazy.
So you being that absolute one in a system of multiple or multiplicity, then you are a problem. You are an issue. You aren't, you know what I'm saying, moving the same way as everybody else, and the system will see that and try to stuff that out. And that's what you saw. You saw it. And what was going on? The whole system, everywhere he went, was waking up, seeing him moving. How many problems did we go through this morning? You get what I'm saying? We had to come to this system in order for us to talk, because the other system wasn't letting us talk, because they like, nah, man,
we ain't having that shit today. Yep, we ain't having that shit today.
Yeah, we're not having that shit today. But once again, the loophole, we found the loophole, and here we are. Doing what we do best, you know what I'm saying? Music and knowledge, man. That's
and
it. It's inevitable.
I love what you said there, as far as you know, what kind of like society wants you to be in a way, right? And we've talked a lot about truth. That's a lot about what your music is, finding truth for yourself, working through stuff you've experienced, the experience that you had, sharing it with the next generation. And I appreciate that, because I got a track that I'm putting together. Well, actually, no, it's done. That's a lie. I'm not putting it together. It's done. But I named the track. I don't know if I'm going to keep it this title, But the premise of it is there are 1,000 yous in this world, right? Or however many people you know as an individual or people know of you. Everybody has a different perception or perspective of who you are as an individual, right? And you're right there too. Like, and the general narrative from what you were talking about, and I picked out of what you just said that led me down this rabbit's hole is if there is one of those 1,000 people or whatever the number is for you as an individual out there, if somebody's not liking that narrative and it's not fitting their story, and on top of it, if it's gonna put whatever game that they're playing into some kind of I don't know if this is gonna work. Well, they're gonna cut you out. They're gonna stamp you out because they need whatever they got going to work, right? And the underlying message that I've got in that track of 1,000 U's is, for me, I'm gonna be the one that makes me happy. I'm gonna be the one that the people that I really care about in this world, whether it's my fans or it's the U's of the world, Mak7teen, or it's the discreets, whoever I'm giving value of the finite time that I have on this earth, whoever I'm giving that to. That's the 1,000 of me's that I fucking care about. It's the real one at the end of the day that I know who I am. You know what I mean? Because you do, like, we're all having a similar conversation right now. And Mac, you're going to think differently about maybe something that I'm saying than Discreet's going to. And I don't mean it in a sense that
well, go through our minds differently.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to filter differently. You guys are going to perceive that information differently. It doesn't mean what I'm saying is a bad thing or a good thing one way or the other to you guys, but it just means if I say this to 1,000 people right now, 1,000 people are going to interpret me by the way of what the fuck I'm saying right now in a completely different way. You know?
Yes, sir.
Like, some people are going to be like, you know, I could sit here, if there were 1,000 people in front of me right now in my yard, I could be like, I'm going to give every single one of you $5,000. Some people are going to look at it like, holy shit. This dude's going to give me $5,000. I don't got to go to work for the next 2 months. Other people are going to look at it, holy shit, that's $5,000. Look what I can do for me and my family. Then there's going to be other people who are going to be like, wow, $5,000. I'm straight right now, but you know what I could do with that $5,000? I could go and invest it and make something with it. You know? And I think that's the beauty of me, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what other people think. Like we you know, I it's not that I want to be liked necessarily. Like, I want to be, you know, let's just use this as the analogy that I'm talking through here, right? I want people to at least appreciate or respect what we do on the We Outside livecast, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, if somebody comes and likes it or doesn't like it, I don't fucking care. I really don't. Because that's not what it's about. It's about coming out and having organic and authentic conversation like we are right now. You know?
Like, only people who are interested. Now, if there's only 12 people in the world that's going to be interested, I only want them 12 people. Do you know what I mean? I don't want anyone else. Do you know what I mean? I only want them 12.
That's
the only people that wants to know.
That's the truth.
Just them 12, please.
That's the truth. I take that same initiative with my music. Like, it's like, okay, I put it out, and I share it, and I get, you know, I ask for reviews or, you know, somebody to give me a little bit of insight of what they think, and that's it. That's all. I don't. What else is there? Oh, you need 1 million views and go viral. And I'm like, man, I'm not trying to go viral, bro. That's a word that they put out there, like organic. Remember that? Remember when they put organic out there? What about
whoever listens to my
natural?
Music, I just want them to be touched.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I don't even want you to walk away from my music. I want you to go back and be like, what else does he have?
Yeah.
What else do he have that is like? Because this right here was dope. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know. I try my best not to put any fluff in my albums. You know, and what I mean by fluff, I mean just trash or mediocre. You know, I don't try to do that. Like even with the one with the piano, Never Settle for Less, and hold on, let me think about it. The Ugly Truth, the one Discreet likes. Okay, the Ugly Truth. Yes. You know, even with that one, it was like, it was kind of off, but it was still on. You see what I'm saying? It was something about that song, that beat, that made me be like, yeah, no, I'm putting it in there. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do that. That's a Mad Hatter beat. I'm gonna use that one, and yeah, okay, cool. You know, because it still had that vibe to it. You know,
Yeah.
I just like, bruh, you know, I'm not gonna say a lot of stuff. I'm just gonna say fact over fiction. They really don't want to listen. Fact over fiction. It's the ugly truth, you know, and that's what it is. I mean, even like what we're talking about right now, the ugly truth of the matter is that people do not want to look like how can I say it? The outcast, the outsider. They want to fit in so bad. I don't.
I know.
I don't care. I grew up outside, outsider. I grew up on the outcast. I grew up like that. Like I never was really embraced. Yeah, I wasn't really that embraced. It. I had to force that embrace. You know, people wasn't accepting me. You know, I'm gonna be real. The person of me was an asshole when I was growing up. You know, I was the jokey, playful, always cracking jokes, always talk about somebody, say your mama and make you mad just because I know you don't like nobody saying your mama jokes, but I'll be like, then your mama, and then they're gonna be like, bro, you want to fight? And I'm like, yeah, let's fight, you know. But that was just me, you know what I mean, growing up. That's why I don't have a lot of friends. I have a lot of associates and people I know, but I don't have a lot of friends, you know what I mean, because I was an asshole growing up. I mean, you know, and that was cool, you know, but I'm not that asshole anymore. I can be. I just stopped doing that because I at that time I was pushing, you know, I used to sell weed and stuff. So at that time, you know, I didn't want too many people up on me if they wasn't spending money with me. So I had that mindset of, if you ain't got no money, get the fuck away from me, you know.
Absolutely.
And that was poison. That's why I'm able to talk about all this stuff, because I was really living that life and I saw myself out of that. Didn't nobody get me out of it. I got myself out of it, from being up here to coming down here and being normal and not doing anything else. Yeah, you know, they're like, oh, no, you got arrested. That's why. Yeah, I got arrested, but only did 60 days, bro. I didn't do no hard time. I ain't never did no hard time. So, you know, and they try to make it seem like, oh, you ain't no real nigga. You ain't never did no hard time. Excuse me. Don't try to belittle me and make me feel like I'm less of a thug because I ain't go to prison. No, because what we were growing up on was smart criminals, not stupid criminals. How do you know where the stupid criminals are? Or they're locked up. Oh, okay. So now today you're bragging about being a stupid criminal and getting locked up. No, you were supposed to be smart and outsmart the popo. Is that what E40 said? But instead we get caught. So I got caught. So I wasn't that smart. So now it's time to change up, not continue doing the same stupid shit. And if that makes me weak, then I guess I'll be weak. I'll be weak. You better leave my weak ass alone. You know what I'm saying? I'll be weak.
I'll fit your narrative. If that's the narrative they want to build from me, then okay, because if it becomes one of those
let it be
situations,
let it be.
Because, it's crazy. You're right, and it's funny. I'm glad you said what you said, because I was going to say the same thing.
Let it be.
It's about being smart. Like some people,
smart.
Again, some people would look at me and be like, "Oh, Mike, you ain't never done anything in your life, motherfucker." Like, you know what? If I told you shit, bro, like if I told people out here, like, bro, like they would have like,
it's none of your business.
Like, nah, exactly. But it's about being smart about it, bro. I used to sell. Speaking of selling weed, I was at a point. I think the most I was selling at one time, I was selling 4 pounds of weed a week, right? And I was selling pills at the same time. And this is when I was living on Rhode
Island. Was busy.
Bro, I was living under. This is no bullshit, bro.
Oh,
I was living underneath a Rhode Island state cop for 2 years. For 2 years, bro, I was doing this under the nose of a state police person. So again, it can be done being smart. You just got to be smart. Don't be stupid. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. But again, I mean, who said it? Lil Weezy said it. Real G's moving silence like lasagna.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, keep your mouth shut, bro. Like, why are you going to be out here broadcasting shit that could get you into trouble?
That's how I got my name, Discreet. It comes from when I was a kid.
You got to be discreet.
Listen. What are you doing, Discreet? Are you on the phone? No one. That one used to
Nobody.
Exactly.
I learned my lesson, though, man. I spent 13 years of my rap career on the run. So I wasn't able to get that much
I remember
rap
you
music
touching on that a little
done.
bit last
I
time that
got,
we were talking when we were outside last
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Yep.
and that's when I learned that, you know, even though you are on the run, you can still, you know, move around. But I learned a lot then. I learned who my friends was. I learned, you know, how to say no. I learned how to avoid bullshit and the police. And from that, and that just became like the hermit me. You know, I became a hermit. Even though I would go places, I'd still go see some roads or something. I go to Vegas. My favorite thing to do while on the run, I ain't gonna lie, was go to Vegas.
There you go.
me and Vegas hung out a couple times while I was. You know, I shouldn't have been there, but you know, those are the things. Those are the things. Like from 2002 to 2015, it was just.
That was just life.
It was crazy, and I shouldn't have been. Man, I shouldn't have been, because I'm smarter than that, bro. I know that. I know
Well,
that.
you
I
should learn
understand
from
that.
it.
Yeah,
You learn
I know.
from it.
I know. Yeah, and you know what? I learned, and that's when I started doing a lot of my learning. To be honest, 2009, one of my god brothers gave me a bunch of CDs, and I was like, "What is this?" He was like, "Oh man, it's just the stuff I've been learning." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, you know I'm a vegetarian now." And I was like, "Man, get the fuck out of here!" And you know what I mean? Like, what? That's so 2009, I went from street criminal to vegetarian to a vegan to a hood professor. I mean, bro, I was so many different things.
You're
I was like,
evolving,
then I
though.
started
You're
doing music
evolving.
again.
Yep.
Yeah. And then it made me want to like, I want to get back into the music. But nobody wanted to, you know, really deal with me because I was such a hothead. You know what I mean? Like, nah, bro, you still on the run. You still got warrants and shit. You got too much going on right now. And I'm like, I'm like, so what, bro? I'm gonna be the hardest rapper on the run. You know, dumbass shit. That was a dumb thought process.
Yeah.
That was a dumb thought process. Hardest rapper on the run.
No way. Yeah, it don't make
Don't do
sense.
that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
It don't make sense because what happens when you my cousin Big Les, Ellie Dub, man, he's the one and one of the reasons why I know so much about Brother Lynch, X-Rated, and SIBO, because he was the road manager for Brother Lynch when Lynch in the 90s in the first run. So you know, he was like the A&R roadie guy, and I was just like, you know what, that's hella dope. And he'd tell me all the stories, and I'm like, wow, that's dope. I want to do that.
Yeah.
But that same individual came to me in 2005 and said, bro, you need to go turn your stuff in because you're doing hella music, and I like it. And if you get caught, all of that is going. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, all that. And I'm like, nah. He's like, yeah. And then he said, and you don't want. And then he told me, you don't want the feds knocking on your door. And I said, what? He was like, yeah, because if they knock on your door, then it's over. And I was like, what? He put those two things in my head, and it made me like start really thinking like, okay, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing? You know, but I still was trying to fight it like, no, fuck that. I'm going to do me, and I'm going to do this. But no. My mom ended up passing away, bro, in 2015. So that really like made me like, do a life check, and I should have did it before that. She should have passed away seeing her son live a clean life, not pass away and force and that be the thing that forces her son to, you know, change his life. No, you know what I mean? But that's how it happened. That's how it took place. So you live and you learn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then that's when I started learning how to transmutate energy from bad into good. Transmutate situations from bad to good. And then I started doing that in my raps. So now, you know what I'm saying? So that's what the whole entire trilogy of Music and Knowledge is about that transformation in life and sticking with it. Like a lot of people, you know, think that they have to change everything about themselves when they change their lives. No. You don't have to change everything about yourself. You just have to elevate your thinking process. You got to elevate your mindset to overcome the obstacles by shifting your mindset. That's where that broke not broken comes in. You know what I mean? The situation might break you. That's where you're broke at. You know what I mean? But in order for you to be broken, you had to be shattered by that situation. Fragile, like shattered, like completely unrepairable. You get what I'm saying? So no, the situation didn't do you that way. It just broke you right now. So, you know what I mean? If you'll be able to overcome yourself in the situation once you shift your mindset. So that's where that broke not broken comes in at. Like, and people really trip. They're like, I'm not broke. Like, yeah, you are. Your spirit is broke. You know what I mean? But it's not broken. We can fix it. Anything that is broke can be fixed. It can be fixed. You feel what I'm saying? When the people tell you if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. But when it's broke, you gotta fix it.
Yes.
Or you gotta throw it away. And you don't want to throw your life away.
Correct.
So you gotta fix it.
You gotta find that solution. You gotta have the patience. You gotta trust the process. As well.
Yeah.
If you do, man, like we've all, like you said, we've all lived. Go ahead, Discreet.
No, I was just saying, it's real shit he's saying.
No, it is real shit because we've all lived it. I mean, Discreet, we've talked about, you know, our trials and tribulations, no different than Mac talking about his today, man. So we've all lived it. We all can speak on it to the point you have to evolve. You know, elevation is a must, like Mak7teen said earlier, because, man, like, you know, all my years of drinking and being an alcoholic, and again, I'm still an alcoholic. I'm just an alcoholic that has
I wasted all my early years on drugs.
But at the same time, like if you didn't have that experience with drugs that you had, Discreet, we talked about it before. Just like I haven't had the alcohol experience that I had, no different than Mac had the 13 years on the run. We would not be the people that we are today, sitting in here having this conversation.
We're here today because of them experiences.
We are. We very much are. And the universe, you know, I saw something the other day that really resonated with me. And I talked Jordan, Jay Fortune was over here last night, Discreet. And I was talking to him. We were literally right here on the deck. We were smoking a blunt. And I said, bro, I was like, yo, listen, we were talking about life in general. And it's really dope. I really appreciate getting to have a conversation with Jordan because he's 23, I'm 44, right? So it's different perspectives, which I always get to appreciate, whether I'm talking to a 23-year-old, I'm talking to a 66-year-old, whatever, it don't matter, right? But you said something that reminded me of something I saw yesterday. We woke up today, and this is for the three of us and anybody watching or hearing this in the future. We woke up today, or you woke up today, because God is not done with the plan that he has for us. Whatever that higher power it is, whether you believe in God, the universe, energy, whatever it is that puts us here today, we woke up today because that entity is not done with us. And you know what? My last
still work to
purpose,
do.
Exactly. My purpose, who knows? I could have woke up today and my purpose in life was to have this conversation with you guys today, and I could drop dead as soon as I get off this live. I don't know. But that's the fact of it, right?
That's how I be feeling. That's how I feel. Like you know, like whatever it is that you did that was done, and then you pass on, you completed the mission, I guess.
Yep.
You know, like, bruh, I don't know, whatever the last thing I did, you know, good or bad, must have been the definitive thing that I needed to do. Whatever that was, I did it. Because what?
Yeah.
What the hell?
The main thing is when you come across in your day-to-day life, right, and you come across someone who needs help, and you carry on walking, ignore them, I'm telling you, when your day comes, you're going to be told about that, because that's what he wants. Help each other. So if you ever cross someone, and they need help, just help them.
Help them.
Just help them. That's
what we're in for.
Yeah. That's
what we're in. Please.
Everybody needs a helping hand.
Well, you know, I have I help anybody that is in need of help, except for the people that give me that evil eye as they walk by me, and it makes me feel uncomfortable.
That's demons.
If anything happens to if you give me that evil eye and you walking past me and something happens to you as you walk past, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy, I'm gonna keep walking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep.
I mean, if you're walking through,
I'm not gonna try because you might hurt me.
You know, if you're walking through,
you might hurt me. You might think that. Yeah, no, because I've noticed that, like, I say good morning to people or hey, how you doing? And they don't respond. They'll give me this look like, you know, and I'm like,
stay away.
All right, well, if anything, if I happen to see you going through something and you need my help, do not look my way, because you weren't cordial. You know, you wasn't welcoming. You wasn't anything. You shunned me off. You gave me the cold shoulder. So I'm looking like, so if you ever need help, then am I supposed to help you? Or am I supposed to just let you be like you were?
Yeah.
Because you didn't, because you felt, you gave me that feeling like you didn't want me to talk to you or touch you, or so. How can I help someone like that?
Yo,
exactly.
bro,
it's impossible.
Bro, it is, and you gotta pick and choose where you're gonna put your energy going forward, right? And that's something that I experienced.
I seen a clip just the other day, right, where a normal guy's walking through a street, and a drug addict looked like he was suffering and was about to have overdose. And this guy come over to help him, and the drug addict said, "Don't you fucking touch me!" Like really evil. So he stepped back and said, "Cool, I ain't helping you." Do you know what I mean? There's something up. Man.
Well, to Mac's point, like you can't help people that don't want to be helped, discreet, and and I'm not going to get into the long and short of it, right, or the details of it, but the whole reason that I ultimately moved to Kansas City, right, was to help the youth, out here, right, and it's not going that way. It's not going that way because the person running the show, right, and it's crazy, and it's really ironic because the first time that we all sat down together in Kansas City, this is a dude who sat there and was like, yo, nobody has an ego when they walk through this door. Yet this motherfucker's the dude with the biggest ego in the motherfucking world. And I don't want to work with people like that, right? I don't want to work with people like that. And it's crazy. It's really crazy because, like, his whole thing when I moved to Kansas City was, we need money, we need money, we need money. I gave him a very simple plan to make $3 million. And he wanted nothing to do with it. And I needed $5,000 to make this happen. Wanted nothing to do with making the money needed to open this youth center. But what I came to find out in like that 6-week period is it doesn't really seem like it's about this youth center. It's more about the other piece of what this person's building, and it's the studios. And this is an individual who is well into the music industry. I mean, he's produced for and worked with Ludacris and Kendrick Lamar and Diana Ross and Quincy Jones, and you fucking name it. But come to find out, when I actually got to know this person, working with them here in Kansas, that's not the person that I agreed to come and help. So I told them, basically, I haven't even had the opportunity to tell this motherfucker to go fuck himself yet, but I'm not going to put my energy there. I just stepped off. I'm moving myself in a different direction. So you know what I'm doing? I'm going to open my own nonprofit for the youth. Same exact thing, but better.
It's probably best not to tell him to fucking just leave it.
I'm going to leave it because I don't move that way anyways. Like if that person comes calling one time, I'm just going to be ignoring them because I got my own energy that I'm putting. But like literally, I changed my whole entire life and whole entire family's life to move from 5 hours away. Spent probably about $35,000 to actually make this move, and then I got here to help this motherfucker, and this motherfucker just like straight up ghosted me. Like, come on, bro. Like, you ain't out here trying to tell people. You ain't don't sit here and try to tell me that you're trying to help people because you're also an individual who's paying yourself $85,000 through your nonprofit.
What?
Bro, but on the same time, on the same conversation, this dude was telling me he's got his, lawyer friend or whatever. He did a project. He produced a full project for somebody
I'll have to go in about 10 minutes.
All right, cool. This dude is basically missing $750,000 from a project that he did, right? This dude doesn't need money, so you're gonna sit here and you're trying to tell me that you actually want to help the youth of Kansas City. You want to help the youth of Kansas City, yet you're taking $85,000 off the top. You're paying yourself basically and here's the kicker, bro. Mac, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the one thing that finally, like, shit was already going on, but this was the thing that told me, Mike, you're done, bro. You're done. So calls me up one day. It was a Thursday. I'll never forget this. It was a Thursday, bro. It was 11:30 in the morning. I was working on my music. Luckily, my daughter was at school. My wife wasn't here. He's like, yo, can you come and watch the kids for me at 12:30? Right? I was like, all right, you know what? I'll make it work. Cool, whatever. He's like, I got this appointment that I have to go to. Bro, I got you. I'll be here. Go up. And I'm at a point, I'm waiting on some stuff going on to come in money-wise. I didn't really have money for gas, to be honest with you. And this dude knew this at this point as I was waiting some shit. So I watch the kids. He comes back an hour and a half later. Bro, you want to know where this dude had to go at 1 o'clock so bad that he needed somebody else to watch his kids? This dude went to get
Where?
a haircut and a beard trim. Went to get a lineup and a beard trim. And then when he came back, bro,
Oh.
didn't even tell me thank you. Didn't even tell me thank you. Didn't offer me no gas money. Nothing. So, like, I drove home with my first initial thought already in my mind.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait,
Go ahead.
hold on, time out. Let me get this right. I'm sorry, I'm one of those guys.
No, go ahead.
This person requested your presence.
Yep.
And you gave it to them. And then when they
Yep.
get there, they had nothing.
Yep.
No thank you, no money, no nothing.
Yep.
So you just did that on the strength?
Yep. And offered this dude just to go get a
on the
haircut.
strength.
Just to go get a haircut.
That's mad.
No, yeah. You can't.
It is mad.
You can't be around. You can't. That's not the type of individual that you want to do business with.
No, that's what
he's self-centered.
Yeah. So I took about 48 hours, but I was like, yo, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Like, I literally have paid $35,000. I've tried to help this person out so much. And then on top of it, he tried to tell me that me and my wife, because we're in construction, we do a lot of things, and we were trying to get this center opened a lot sooner, and we were going to charge him peanuts. We're going to charge him peanuts to get this done. And he told us that he thought it was all a money grab. It's like, bro, like, do you know how much money I've spent moving here? Like, I literally moved here for this and this only, and you're trying to tell me it's about a money grab? Like, come on, bro. Fuck out of here with
The same person that took the same person that took 85,000 off the top. Well, I mean, he should know.
Yep, trying to tell me it's about a money grab. Like, come on, bro.
Man,
it's messed
crazy.
up, bro. And it's messed up because you know what, there are people really trying to do things in this world and the right things, right? But then you hear stories like that, and it makes me jaded, bro. It makes me jaded,
bro. It's like there's so few people in this world I trust. You, like, a couple members of my family, and I've done it 4 or 5 people. I reckon I could go to, and I could totally trust them. But anyone else I cross, man, I'm just like, I'm so standoffish with people I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like,
I'm standoff with people I know. That's nothing personal. It's just
yes.
It's just been so many people have turned on me and told on me and speak on me because I've always been like the center of attention, even though
my wife cheated on me with her stepdad. So
what?
There's a little segment of my trust issues. Yeah, man, serious shit. Yep, my wife cheated on me with her stepdad, and it was going on for years. That's fucked up. I know. It's fucked. I don't
know.
So like, if
fucked up world, bro. It's a fucked up world we live in.
Don't you trust me? Just remember that, right? Just remember that. That's why discreet don't
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
Wow, discreet. It brings me back to our conversation with Monster Yo the other week, where it's like, yo, someone always has it worse, someone always has it better. God damn it, bro.
Oh, that's not.
I don't believe you.
I'm still here. It wasn't that bad. Still alive.
I don't believe it, bro. I don't believe that. That is so.
Guess what? I'm never getting married again. I'm never getting married again.
Never.
No.
Never.
No.
Never. No. I'll leave you for asking me.
Man, right? I
want to stay single for the rest of my life.
Well, you know,
for the rest of I'm dying single if that's the case.
Some things just happen that way, right? They leave such an impression on you that it's like, well, what the fuck? But it's crazy because you think of people that are supposed to be the closest to you, and this is the age-old song, right? Keep your friends close, your enemies closer. But it's crazy when your enemies are those friends, are those family members, are the people who are saying that they're making a difference in the community, and they're not.
Yeah,
it's just all for show. It's just to feed their own ego. It's to be, yo, look at me. Let me get the newspaper clips. Yo, fuck all that
I
bullshit,
can't,
bro. Like,
I can't stand that. I can't stand that type of shit.
you
Like I
know,
said, growing up, I made myself the center of attention. I went from outcast to center of attention, and in doing so, I learned that the people around you, if you're not moving the way they want you to move, they kind of like turn on you
yeah,
because they feel as
quit,
if you
quit.
should you should be spending time with them versus spending time doing you. And I'm like,
Yep.
bro, I'm doing me 100%. I'm out of here. I'm not. I was not born. I didn't come out of one hole to be trapped with one person all my life. That's not the thing. That God did not. You see how many blades of grass there is out here? That's how I was thinking. So that's how and I was moving like that. Like I didn't care. Like if your girl winked at me, if she blinked at me, I called it a wink. If she blinked, it was a wink. So you know what I mean? Like it was terrible. And then, and I had to change that. But like I said, you get all that attention from being what they call the man, having all the products and and like that, and then you can rap too. So what I'm saying, it's like, bruh, and I know how to play basketball, so I was playing basketball, rapping, I was singing, I was selling drugs, I was doing all type of shit. Yeah, man, whatever attracts the women, I was doing, and that's how it was. So I learned that, and that's when I got trust issues because everybody and their mama was running to try to tell, my girlfriend that, I was a no good ass nigga, but not telling them that my shit was, in their mouth just a little bit ago too. So you know what I mean? Like, they want to tell me because they see me with somebody different, but not telling on themselves, knowing I was with them too. And I was just like, bro, y'all wait. I got dudes, I got homeboys running around trying to. Yeah, it's got homeboys running around trying to, outdo the family, trying to outdo my cousin, trying to outdo me and the close homie. Like, what? We're not competing. We're just living, doing our stuff. We're just enjoying ourselves in life. We don't care about the girls like that. Y'all care about these girls. We don't care about these girls, man. What is y'all doing? You know what I mean? Like, what is y'all really hate? Y'all really hating over girls?
That's
like
wild.
that's not gonna.
Wild.
I don't do that. Like I can't do that.
We're putting our
like,
energy in the wrong places. That's what it is, man. Like,
and that's when I stopped.
I'm gonna have to go. Right,
That's when I knew I had to stop.
No,
I've got to
go
pick up my daughter. So
go handle your daughter discreet. We're gonna start winding down here, anyways, because we're tapping in at about an hour and 40 minutes because it's been a beautiful conversation.
I know it's been good,
and that's how it goes, bro. That's how it
goes.
But
I just want to say I appreciate Mak7teen. Like your album is fucking awesome. You as a human being, fucking awesome. Like I felt like I've got to know you a lot more than I did the first time. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what's happened today, but I feel like I know you. So yeah, I'll say peace
it's all good. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Discreet. Have a great day.
I'll catch you both soon.
All right, Discreet. Be good, bro.
Yes, sir.
Peace, boys.
Peace, bro.
Peace.
It's crazy though, as Discreet's bouncing out, like just the narrative that people, kind of just jumping off what we were just talking about. Mak7teen will start to wind it down. How people will make their own narrative, right? Sometimes just to make themselves feel good. And man, I can't fuck with that, bro, because like, listen, I'm all about, being there for yourself and self-love and self-awareness. But when it crosses that line, if you're just blowing smoke to make yourself feel good, or you're building your own narrative to make yourself look like, the victim when you're the one that actually caused all this bullshit. Nah, man. That's when you're living in a reality that don't even exist other than in your own world. I'm good, man. I don't want no part of that shit.
That's what what I tell people I tell people, but I try to get people around me to understand that there's a difference between men and women, of course, and the difference is that we know how to articulate our logic. You know what I mean? We know how to put it out in words and be like, well, how to do it. Women act off of emotions, how they feel. Okay, so you know what I mean. So whenever I get into working with someone and they're acting out of their emotions and they're a man, you know what I mean. I'm like, bro, you gotta come on. You know what I mean? Like we don't need to entertain those type of things because those type of things are the things that women do. If we're gonna be hanging around each other, and we're gonna be doing this, we're gonna be doing that. You know what I mean? Like we don't need to entertain those type of things because those type of things are the things that women do. You know what I mean? Like we don't need to entertain those type of things because those type of things are the things that women do. You know, if we're gonna be hanging around each other and be cool with each other. We can't be doing the same shit that girls would do, being all messy and gossiping and arguing with each other, nitpicking and looking for little things to, you know, saying comment on. That's what women do. You know what I mean? Like, we don't do that. If I'm chilling with, you know what I'm saying, the homegirls and they all over there trying to, you know, this is, you know, trying to be bravado with it, I'm like, hey, you know, you're going to give somebody the wrong impression of you and me. And I appreciate it if you just be natural. You ain't got to, you know, put that extra deep voice into it.
Just be you. Just be
be natural. Be yourself.
It.
Be you. Because that's the thing that, you know what I mean, is the most authentic, is you. That's who you were born. You were born to be you. You know what I mean?
Correct.
I was just saying the other day, I said, you know, they did a hell of a job on us to make us believe that us fighting, live in this world is debunked by someone who didn't have to fight, who was just placed here. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So we are in the sperm in order to get out, to be that with the whole. You know what I mean? In order to live in the womb. I mean, we fought to get there. You know what I mean? So they said that one is you. You're the one. You got to be here. And so you fought a million people. You fought a million things to get here. And you made it here.
Just to get to the physical.
And you're living here. And then just to get to the physical. And then they tell you that it's a being that was created without fighting and without any struggle. He was just placed here into the womb. And the birth was painless. So they didn't even go through none of the things they do. And they're the most special person in the world. Like, no, the fuck they're not. You know how much fighting I had to do to
just to get here.
The movie, the one.
Conversation.
The movie, the one with Jet Li in it.
Yes, I know exactly. Yes.
The fighting scene at the end. I promise you that was them trying to, that's what it was. You are in the sack of life fighting to get to the halo. You know what I mean? Trying to get out and into the world, and then you made it here, and then when you get here, they teach you that there was somebody out here more important than you because they didn't even have to fight.
Because they were just here. Like, come on. That don't make no sense.
They would just put, that don't make no sense. I'm like, wait, here, hold on. He didn't have to fight. Who is this man? What you mean you didn't have, hey, wait, it wasn't no penetration. What? Like,
you mean there's someone other
I'm sorry,
than
but that's just
Mary? Come on.
What? Like, no, for real. Like, what? You know, like, and then, you know, but that's just me traveling through the knowledge and understanding of life. You know, that's what I do, you know, and I'll write a song like that, you know what I mean? Just because I'm thinking like that. And I don't care if anybody agrees with me or not, because guess what? I know for a fact that, you know, there is 33,000 different denominations when it comes to Christianity. I know that there's, you know what I'm saying, hundreds when it comes to, you know what I mean, different belief systems. So anything could be possible.
Yeah.
You just have to speak from your mind and study, you know what I mean? Always study.
Knowledge is power, bro.
From that,
knowledge is power.
Study. Knowledge is power. That's what I learned. And I was like, bro, damn, I thought it was just only one way. No, there's, you know what I'm saying, more than one way. You know, all roads lead to Rome, but you know what I mean? There's hella different roads you can travel on. Thousands of roads. You know, there's 1,000 different names of God and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? So when you start to realize that there's more than one way to approach things, that's when your brain starts to open up, your mind starts to expand, and you start to say to yourself, there is a different way. As long as there's another day, there's another way to get paid.
And that's true evolution.
You know, and that's, yes. And that's why, like I said, that's what makes, and when I tell people shit like, man, you just don't know what you're missing out on when you choose to pass by that healthy music that's going to help you live and do better and get that garbage and then wonder why you are sitting up there with parasites and obese and all this other shit in life, not just reality, but in life, your mind is messed up. You can't be trying and all that. Well, listen to some Mak7teen music, and you'll know that as long as there's another day, there's another way. You'll know, you know what I mean? That elevation is a must. That you'll know that everything's gonna be okay, and that you're not the only one going through something. This man that went through, he done lost his mind. He lost his burned down the same day. His son, he's going forward. Be able to do that too.
Yeah, because when they can hear a story like that and know that someone's still not only here, but being here and actually doing some shit with the time that they still have here, come on.
Do better than him. That's what it is. It's not even about doing me. It's about doing. I think everybody can do better.
Yes.
Better than what I'm doing.
Nah, man. So true, bro. So true. So true. Well, we're going to start winding down here. We'll let you get back onto your rest of your day as well. I'm going to go do the same, get some shit done. But any final thoughts, Mac, that you want to leave with the outsiders? Anybody watching us live right now, or anybody that's going to see this in the future when we get up on the YouTube channel?
That's what it's about. Like, a lot of us take these situations, go through, and we let that be the end. You know what I mean? We let that determine the rest of our lives. Like, it does hurt. Yeah. Oh man, it's what you do. You can find something to do. Always be great. It's never too late to be great. You know what I'm saying? Overcome your obstacles, you know what I'm saying, by shifting your mind. You know what I mean? And last but not least, as long as there's another day, there's another way to get paid. You feel me? That's all it is. Mak7teen loves y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in. You know what I mean? Excuse the helicopter. I live by the airport, so.
I can appreciate that.
But yeah, no. Stay true to what you do, you guys, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and just know that the We Outside livecast is for the people, it's for the artists, it's for the artistry, and every time you tune in, you're gonna get some good convos with us outsiders.
I appreciate that, Mac. We appreciate you popping out again, and I know we tried to make that happen yesterday, so I appreciate you sticking with us and getting out today. I'll get the screenshot. It'll go up on YouTube and everywhere else. So, again, like you said, everybody that popped out, opened that door with us today, hey, this was a beautiful conversation. It's going to be available on YouTube. So if you came in the middle, by the end of the day or tomorrow, y'all be able to go watch it on the YouTube channel, share it with your friends, your loved ones. You know what it is. Tell the others. Open the door. We outside today with Mak7teen out of Sacramento. My brother, we appreciate you. You and I will definitely be in touch. And as we told you about 7 months ago, doors always open, bro. So anytime you want to pop that thing open, you just let us know, dog.
Man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No problem. I appreciate you, man.
Hey, right back at you. And
have a great day. Have a blessed one, man.
And as soon as I book that ticket to Sacramento, you're going to be one of the first to know, bro.
Okay, for sure. Yep. We already told Emo, so we're going to hit the studio.
Oh, goddamn right we are, bro. Yes. All right, my brother, you be good, bro. Have a good rest of the day, man.
All right. Yes, sir. You too.
Peace.